up on the camera first before I start? If you can. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. I'll start. Thank you. What has Christianity done for man? Firstly, we start off with the Bible verse, Matthew chapter 22, verse 37, to be precise, where the Bible explains that we should love God with all our hearts, mind, and soul. See, Christianity has always been interpreted as a positive and personal sort of religion, but other than spirituality, we understand that it's been very historically significant. For instance, we look at its healthcare, we look at its impact on education, as well as science. In the speech, I'll explain Christianity's contribution within the Western world and how vital it's been for all mankind. During ancient Rome, During ancient Rome, the Roman Empire, there weren't any hospitals like you see them today. Most of these people at the time disregarded the poor and the sick, treating them as lower class and casting them aside. Christianity, on the other hand, had a different look at this. Through the Bible and ethics, Christianity explained that all man was equal. All people and all life had value. This derives from the teaching in Genesis where it said that God created all man in his image. Christianity started organizing structures and big healthcare systems that contributed significantly to its advancements. Historian Alvin J. Morgan, or Alvin J. Schmidt, a Christian, says that Christians during the 3rd and 4th century created look like what we see today. St. Basil the Great, traditionally known as St. Basil the Caesarean, was the first to create the first formalized hospital that we see and know of today. Even in monastic orders in the Middle Ages, a lot of these hospitals were built around this time as well. Nuns and monks continued to look after the ill and those who didn't have anything. And if we move on to the education, monks also played a very significant role. They preserved ancient texts, taught literacy to understand scripture. They wrote in Latin and spoke in Latin and taught in Latin as well. But other than just teaching in theology, as most would presume, they also taught significant things such as health, law, philosophy, and so on. They also contributed to the amount of colleges that we have today. For instance, the first sort of colleges that we see in Europe were established in the 12th and 13th century, particularly in Oxford, Paris, and Bologna in Italy. Science and religion aren't different or aren't things that necessarily mesh. This is a common objective that people usually talk about, that religion and science are two different categories that will never, ever get together. But the reality is, a lot of the science that we know today is what we've gathered from Christians themselves. Take, for instance, Isaac Newton, a renowned scientist who said that scientific discovery revealed God's design. Or Johannes Kepler, who saw his work as thinking God's thoughts after God. Or Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics. He was an Augustinian monk. Louis N. Magna, in his book History of Medicine, explains that Christians believe in the natural world and how the natural world is divine, instituted by God. And so because it's divine, humans have always had the liberty to explore that world and its creation. Very different from other religions, as other religions are less tolerable to exploration. Modern scientific disciplines such as astronomy, physics, bio, and many more are derived and taught, encouraged, and advanced by Christian thinkers. In conclusion, We understand that Christianity has been significant in many ways. Firstly, health through its hospitals and modern healthcare systems. Secondly, education by preserving knowledge and universities. And thirdly, science as growing as Christians were the ones that furthered science to begin with, and Christianity also knows that it embraces rational inquiry. Thank you very much. That's my speech.